We begin with breaking news.
Even in the day, I don't want to walk alone by myself.
We have a number of staff kind of feeling not super safe being out, especially at night.
It's better safe than sorry.
There's fear tonight in the city of Davis after 3 stabbings in less than a week, 2 of them deadly. A woman who survived providing key information to authorities. Witnesses saying the latest attack happened just feet away from them.
I felt like he was lurking around my tent. I heard some sticks snapping. I heard my tarp snap. Next thing you know, I hear her screaming, "Oh God, help, please, he's here."
Well, tonight UC Davis police say that they have not ruled out that these could be 3 unrelated attacks, but they say that the description of the suspect here has been substantially similar.
Not to mention all of these attacks have happened within 1 week at night and within 3 miles of each other. On Thursday, David Bro's body was found in Central Park.
Then Saturday night, 20-year-old UC Davis student Kareem Abu Najm was found dead at Sycamore Park.
Then just last night before midnight, a woman was assaulted at a homeless camp off of 2nd and L Streets.
Now, in that attack, police say a 64-year-old woman was stabbed right through her tent. She's in the hospital right now. Police say she is alert and talking. And police say she described a man with a light complexion and curly hair who is between 5'6" and 5'9" tall with a thin build. Now that matches the description given by a witness in Saturday's stabbing.
I know that our community is struggling and there is a lot of fear out there.
Tonight, we're following the urgent search for that suspect as police warn people to be on high alert, saying they should not be out at night, especially alone. UC Davis has now made changes to protect students, and some businesses closed early.
We have live team coverage of all of this right now with our crews spread throughout the city of Davis. With the latest information, we're going to start with KCRA 3's Ty Steele, who is anchoring our big story tonight at the Davis Police Station. Ty?
And a true sense of urgency here at the Davis Police Headquarters. For the last 9 hours, I've watched dozens and dozens of law enforcement personnel walk through these very doors behind me, all with a similar look on their face, a look that I'm on a mission. And this department is on a mission to get to the bottom of these 3 brutal stabbings in less than a week. We had the opportunity to catch up with the police chief at the city council meeting that wrapped up about an hour and a half ago, and he gave us greater context into exactly what they're facing. 300 plus tips from the community, all need to be gone through with a fine-tooth comb and responded to in a timely manner. We also heard from the mayor of Davis, and he showed some great appreciation for law enforcement and also the greater community of Davis as a whole. Take a listen.
I know that we have so many folks who are so dedicated to keeping our community members safe and to solving these crimes, bringing to justice the perpetrator.
The mayor actually getting emotional and tearing up at a couple of points during that speech. In addition to city leaders, we also heard from a number of community members who called in for the most part. And KCRA 3's Leanne Denyer was at that city council member with me earlier tonight, and she's got more on the community reaction.
Item 1, an update and briefing.
The Davis City Council wiped its initial agenda for its council meeting Tuesday, instead dedicating the meeting in its entirety to discussing a series of stabbings in the city in recent days.
I'm very worried. I'm very worried because they're human beings and they have feelings.
Linda Hernandez wanted to be there, she says, to speak on behalf of those who couldn't, voicing her concern for the 3rd victim who was stabbed Monday at a homeless encampment, the only victim who survived.
She's going to have trauma, and that's real. And she's going to have physical pain.
The Davis police chief outlined the timeline of the 3 stabbings that killed 2 men and left a woman in critical condition. The chief says while it's highly plausible the attacks are related, they're not ruling anything out at this point.
I've been following this for the last couple of days, obviously, and it was just very helpful. I think the Davis Police Department, especially Darren Pytel, who I've known for many years, is doing an incredible job given the circumstances.
The conversation and concern during public comment largely revolved around resources for Davis's unhoused community and calling for unity during an emergency.
Hatred and definitely, the killing of people, hurting other people is not something that we promote, as a whole. So it's inadmissible, it's shocking, it's traumatizing, but also I know that my community won't stand for that. And people are not going to let fear take over.
Yeah, we did hear a spectrum of emotions, and all completely understandable considering the circumstances. Also at the City Council meeting, we heard from a member of the Chamber of Commerce talking about what is underway from the business community to figure out how to keep employees and customers safe. We go now to KCRA 3's Orko Manna joining us live in downtown Davis with some preemptive measures that some business owners are taking to keep people safe. Orko?
Well, Ty, everyone here is just on high alert after this string of stabbings. As you mentioned, we're in downtown Davis. We're kind of in the heart of the downtown area, but it's really quiet. In fact, all throughout the evening, we've seen fewer people than normal. So starting tonight, some businesses, including this pizza shop here, are closing up early for the time being to keep customers and employees safe. Rocknasium, a rock climbing gym in downtown Davis, is a place to have fun and stay fit. But with 3 nighttime stabbings in Davis, 2 of them deadly in less than a week, everyone is on edge.
So it's pretty freaky. You know, it's like literally hitting close to home.
For the security of customers and employees, General Manager Amani Latif tells me the gym is shutting its doors at 8 p.m. on weeknights instead of 11 p.m.
We have a number of staff kind of feeling not super safe being out, especially at night. So we're just trying to mitigate that.
Woodstock's Pizza is also closing early for the foreseeable future at 9 p.m. instead of midnight, and they won't take delivery orders after 8 p.m. The Davis Farmers Market, scheduled for Wednesday from 3 to 6 p.m., has been canceled. It was set to happen at Central Park, the location of the first deadly stabbing.
We just thought that, just out of an abundance of caution, let's make it as safe as possible for everybody involved.
Many Davis residents agree with the decision.
To me, it makes sense. Nobody wants to be at risk, and I understand if people feel more comfortable closing earlier.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people planning to play it safe. We do want to mention that even though the Davis Farmers Market tomorrow has been canceled, the market that's scheduled for Saturday is still planned to go on as normal, and police will be present. Reporting live in Davis tonight, Orko Manna, KCRA 3 News.
Thank you so much. We also heard from the Chamber of Commerce talking about a meeting that's going to take place on Thursday to talk more about what the business community is doing to keep employees and customers safe. And you really can't talk about the city of Davis without talking about UC Davis. Joining us now is KCRA 3's Melanie Wingo talking about what UC Davis Police Department and the school is doing to keep students and staff members safe.
Yeah, and we heard from Chancellor Gary May today, who discussed the boundaries between the campus of UC Davis and the city of Davis, those being soft boundaries. And that being the case, they really did address how safety and security concerns are valid among staff members and students. And that's why the university is addressing those concerns on campus.
Crime near campus keeping UC Davis students and staff on edge.
It's just surreal, it's just hard to process.
Campus community members now thinking twice about when or if they need to be out at night after 3 stabbings near the university campus in just the past week.
At night, that's for sure. As soon as the sun goes down, I don't want to leave. Even in the day, I don't want to walk alone by myself.
Campus leaders addressing fears Tuesday.
So I just want to acknowledge that the campus community feels anxious and frightened right now.
Announcing immediate steps to enhance safety and security, including additional university police officers on patrol, including reinforcements from UC San Francisco and UC Berkeley, extended hours for the Campus Safe Rides program, and a shift to remote instruction for all courses that end after 6 p.m.
People are generally scared. They're concerned. They're trying to understand what is going on in the city of Davis.
Campus police sharing fears expressed to them as many students scale back plans around their college town until an arrest is made.
It can wait a couple weeks when this all hopefully gets resolved.
Another thing the university talked about today is bringing in some temporary lighting to enhance lighting in some areas and increase visibility, and something the university also wanted to express to both staff and students, Ty, is the understanding that people in this time may be stressed. They may be filled with anxiety about somebody still being on the loose related to these crimes. And in this time, they're asking everybody seek mental health resources that are available to staff and students, because those are available to members of the campus community.
That is good to know. Melanie, thank you. So a community in crisis, but a community also coming together here in Davis. We've seen so many aspects of that unity that Davis is showing, from the law enforcement community, community members and neighbors trying to just keep each other safe and vulnerable populations safe. For now, we're live at the Davis Police Headquarters. Ty Steele, KCRA 3 News. Back to you.
All right, Ty, thank you. And during tonight's City Council meeting, city leaders approved an emergency plan to protect homeless people. Paul's Place on 5th Street will be adding to its capacity. The city will provide 24 emergency beds along with meals for those who agree to be sheltered indoors. In addition, other Davis organizations will provide more meals for those on the streets, and the Respite Center is adding staffing.
We wanted to show you this too. Live Copter 3 was flying over Central Park in Davis earlier tonight, and this is a memorial for the first victim, David Breaux, and that memorial continues to grow. Now, David Breaux was at times homeless. He was also, though, known to many in the area as the compassion guy and helped to get that bench actually placed there at the corner. Breaux was often seen right there asking people what compassion means to them. We will continue to follow this story through as police look for the person or people responsible for these stabbings. Download the KCRA 3 app for some breaking news alerts. You'll get that on the latest developments in this investigation.